Josh Arnold.
Joe.
What does he do?
Hey, we are rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1689. January 7, 2026. 52 degrees on this day in 2003. Minus 34 degrees on this day in 1887. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Haidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Soucheray.
We have Minnesotans representing us who are in Washington, D.C. today, testifying about the fraud in Minnesota, which, unbelievably enough, the seventh day into the new year, is now worse than we thought it was yesterday.
Every day.
And I can't play it because I will go crazy.
Let's do a game.
No.
GL'ers, let's see how long Joe will make it.
Well, but grilling our, Kristen Robbins, Marion Rarick, and
Walter Hudson
are the likes of Ayanna Presley.
Simon, there's been Mace, there's been a lot of people.
And particularly odious is this Presley character, who had zero interest in discussing the fraud in Minnesota.
She brought up January 6th. She brought up the pardon of Santos. She brought up, there was another thing she brought up that had nothing to do with Minnesota.
We have elected people who fight for their own team and don't care about us. It's that simple. You got a handful of people who care. I think Marion Rarick's the real deal. She's trying to Walter's the real deal. Kristen Robbins is doing her best. Lisa Demuth is doing her best. But can you play some of the Presley stuff, or or do you just have it live?
I'd love to let's just take a live listen in, shall we?
I will try not to go nuts. I'll try not to interrupt it, but we're not going to play it very long. Otherwise, I will go nuts.
Gabriel, will you find out who Ms. Simon is for me, please? Thank you.
Simon.
The reducing of SNAP benefits.
Oh, wait a minute.
Shocking taking.
Now, is that Presley?
This is Simon.
I don't know who Simon is.
Simon says, you better listen to this clip.
The stopping of clinical trials for sick babies. What we will do as Democrats is acknowledge that fraud is fraud. What we will not do is allow a conversation to go on to problematize immigrants in this country writ large.
She made up
Can
a
you
word.
imagine a society where we took the wrong...
Stop this.
She is a Democrat from California.
Well, let's try to be helpful here to the listener. These are hearings that are taking place today.
Right now.
Simon seems uninterested in discussing fraud in Minnesota. But nothing tops this Elvis Presley when she gets to it.
Problematize is a word, make into or regard as a problem.
Man, I knew what it meant. I've never heard it used
I've never heard it used before either. It's with a Z.
Oh, God.
Problematization.
You ain't going to make her through today.
A longer word is problematization.
What do you have for us, Chris?
I have the live feed. And I thought that's you wanted to check in.
Is that what you just touched base with?
Yes.
That's happening as we speak.
As this is the live action.
Hit it.
Every child. Collective punishment is what the folks across the aisle want to
build on-brand.
Oh, of course I would have an ad. Give me 1 second.
What's amazing, Joe, is how they take the fraud and they immediately turn it into Islamophobia.
Right.
Right away. They don't even want to talk about the fraud.
See, that's the problem. We can't agree on anything anymore. In a normal world, everyone in America would agree that fraud's bad.
Yeah.
Do their fair share. And yet, because we are so angry at a small few folks who, in fact, broke the law, that we want to create a collective punishment for all poor people, working families who are trying to do their best.
I don't understand this.
I don't have
That's
any
not true.
questions because they have been answered. This is a politic of cruelty. This is a politic of anti-family. This is a politic
an
of
anti-Trump thing she's
anti-poverty.
doing.
And for someone who grew up in poverty, I know how it feels when you wait and wait and wait to just get a chance to do better. And folks who've never met you, talk to you, believe in you or love you, are telling you you are not worth it. That is what this administration is doing to millions of children
hearings have turned
because
into.
of this halting of
Now,
funding.
You're good? Okay.
In order to play Presley, what do you have to do?
Give me a second.
So why
Because,
can't
ladies and gentlemen of the press, you won't believe this. So we got Walter Hudson, Marion Rarick, and Kristen Robbins, and some others. They fly out there because they were summoned to, and this is what they're hearing. They're like Walls. It's an anti-Trump rant. There's plenty of reasons to have anti-Trump rants, but Trump did not commit the fraud in Minnesota. He just didn't do it. I'm sorry. He just didn't commit the fraud in Minnesota.
Why can't they be more specific to say, item B is you let $72 million go to John Q. Saeed?
I will not stand for this hate against our immigrant communities.
That's what it's turned into, yes.
The whole thing is an otter. They're ottering the fraud.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ballou.
Ma'am, I would have to look at the law and the facts of the
that?
case. We
No,
cannot.
listen.
We cannot
Robbins.
know the
I don't-
facts of all
please-
these individual
please
cases.
don't deflect.
And the,
This
and
is a
the
very
obnoxious
public
person is Presley.
Yes.
Santos is. You know exactly what he did. We just agreed that, fraud is unacceptable. And you just talked about accountability. You said if people commit fraud and exploit the public good, that they should be incarcerated. So this is not a complicated question. So I will give you all one more opportunity. Ms. Robbins, Mr. Hudson, and Ms. Rarick, raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of George Santos.
Not playing this game.
It's not a game. It's real life. It's not a game at all. Okay, but I will take your refusal to go on record, not only as cowardice, but that you do agree with that pardon of that fraudster. Moving on, Donald Trump also gave, and this has never been done before, presidential pardons to corporations that committed fraud. One example is the crypto company BitMEX that violated U.S. law and was fined $100 million. Now raise your hand if you oppose Trump's pardon of this crypto company.
Not participating.
Thank you, Mr. Ballou. Okay, again, I'll take your refusal to not
Stop a moment.
to raise.
Stop a moment. This is pointless. It was pointless for Rarick, Robbins, and Hudson. This is pointless. She said to them, raise your hand if you oppose the pardon of Santos. I doubt if any of... Oh, I would imagine that the likes of Marion Rarick would have opposed the pardon of Santos.
But that's not why they're there.
Where is the chairman of whatever this is to say,
He did step in.
Stop, we got to
He
keep
did.
it. That's what a judge would do in a court of law, is say, stick to the point.
When her time, whatever it is, John, I don't know if it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever it was, whatever her time did yield, is it Comer? Whoever was in charge said, okay, we got to move on. And she went off.
All she's interested in doing is putting on a correct show for the people who support her.
In fact,
All she's interested in doing is preserving her position in this luxurious life in Washington, D.C. She has no desire to straighten anything out for the people of Minnesota.
in fact, it was pointed out once she was done saying, well, congratulations, you're now going to be on MSNBC. And that was said a couple of different times once she was done.
Was Marion and the other two, were they appointed and forced to go, or did they volunteer?
I would imagine that because of their roles on the committee here, they were asked to go.
It seems like they're, according to this deflector who says don't deflect, that they're representing Trump. Doesn't it seem like that? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. It's a sad state of affairs. This was all pointless.
This is a waste of time.
It had nothing to do with the fraud in Minnesota.
Now, as I said, unbelievable as it might seem, it's gotten worse. Where is it? We have Who
You know what
did
that whole thing is, Joe? It's just show business. That's all it is.
that thing out in Washington?
It-
Yeah,
it's like-
it's the theater.
It's like the promos between
Yes.
wrestling matches.
Thank you.
It's Jesse talking to Mean Gene.
Let me tell you what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
We now learn that the Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, and remember, Minnesota's problem is too many agencies, too many different administrations. The Behavioral Health Administration within the Department of Human Services, which issues grants to providers treating mental health and drug and alcohol addiction, they got grants of $200 million last year.
Jeez.
The nonpartisan Office of the Legislative Auditor found many examples of this bureau mismanaging the money and then fabricating documents to try to cover their tracks in a systemic effort. One finding, the auditors approached a grantee who was paid $672,000 for 1 month of work without any information on what they did. And the audit says the grant manager who paid it then left DHS a few days later and became a paid consultant for that company.
Wow.
There were multiple examples
Can you imagine?
of issuing grants to one or more organizations without requiring a bidding process. So what we saw in there were multiple entities that could have been eligible, and they chose not to provide justification for why they were picking those, said one member of the audit team. Legislative Auditor Judy Randall says she was most shocked that during the audit, multiple Department of Human Service managers backdated or created new documents. Who had this? Is this Lou Raguse, Carol Evan? Is it Raguse?
Yeah, he's one of them. Yep.
Finally, in my 27-plus years I've been with the Office of Legislative Auditor, I've never seen this before. I will say we've had suspicions periodically, but we've never been able to prove it, to document it, and we did in this case, and it's very troubling, Judy Randall said. Temporary Commissioner Shireen Gandhi's response was, I was shocked to hear this information. And it is absolutely unacceptable that any staff would provide anything other than the accurate representation of the work done to an auditor, she said.
In a perfect world.
I don't. Walls has lied about firing people. I'm unaware of any people who've been fired. Now, this addiction deal, this made national news, the fabrication of this information. Only with Fox. You won't get it in the conventional news gatherers. The country is ruined in that regard. No one can see right from wrong. A major audit in Minnesota conducted by the Office of the Legislative Auditor found widespread failures and internal control problems in the Department of Human Services Behavioral Health Administration grant program. Now, I just went through this, but this is a Fox version. They dished out more than $425 million in grants to 830 organizations, the majority being non-governmental, and did not show proper oversight in watching over those funds, which in many cases were meant to help those with addiction and mental health issues. Missing progress reports were common. Nobody monitored visits. There was no documentation at all for some of those grants. And then they had the backdated or newly created documents that did not exist before the audit, suggesting an effort to retroactively manufacture paperwork to show compliance. Here's the beauty. In one instance, the report found that a grant manager approved $600,000 and later left the agency to work for the guy who got the $600,000.
Do you have his name? It's not in my copy here.
Shit, it's not in mine either.
Where did he resign from? I'll look.
He resigned from the Behavioral Health Administration, which is one of the 14,000 ways the Department of Human Services gives away money.
So what was the human toll as a result of this? How many people?
Well, a lot
went
of people
without-
weren't getting help.
Yeah. We don't have a number on that, though.
The legislative auditor report shows a complete breakdown in how the Department of Human Services Behavioral Health Administration manages hundreds of millions in taxpayer-funded grants. The Behavioral Health Administration failed to verify that grantees were providing services that were paid for, failed to put basic financial controls in place, and then created documentation after the fact to mislead auditors. There is not a single reason that any voter in Minnesota should trust the government of Minnesota.
Yep.
There's not a single reason you can trust the government of Minnesota, even though you're diligent and law-abiding when you write your checks to pay your taxes.
In your eyes, is this a partisan issue?
No. This is a right and wrong issue. This is just human life.
I mean, in the past 24 hours, I've seen a lot of social media, granted, and we've been hearing it for years, blaming the entire Democratic Party with no Republicans being shown any kind of heat or anything at all. Do you go with that?
Well, it's a Democratic problem in the sense that these are Democratic programs. It's a Democratic problem in the sense that this is a completely Democratic administration.
Yeah.
It's a Democratic problem in the sense that have you ever heard any Democrats stepping forward to express their regret and apologies for this behavior?
I see a lot of deflecting, Joe.
None.
Yeah. I'm sure they're there somewhere, right? But they don't dare go against the party. But that's what we need.
God, we were going to start the show with John, and I apologize.
But wait a minute. Joe, Walz said he's not going to seek re-election because he's going to concentrate on cracking down on the fraud.
Yeah, but there's something else you need to know.
Oh.
Well, he's lying.
Oh, okay.
That's just another lie.
Gotcha.
So we've got to get this in before the end of the show.
So why is this? Everything I'm looking for about that grant, it just says an unnamed grant manager.
Right.
How can he still be unnamed?
Maybe he's the guy who keyed cars.
Oh, yeah. I remember that
By
guy.
the way, he was put in a program, I think, wasn't he?
Oh, you got diversion.
Yeah, diversionary program.
Republican Iowa Senator Joni Ernst is working to strip more than $1 million of You can find that in the couches at the safari. Republican Iowa Senator Joni Ernst is working to strip more than $1 million of federal funds earmarked for a Somali-led Minnesota addiction recovery organization that shares an address with the Somali restaurant. Oh. This is an Ilhan Omar request, an earmark. She would like $1 million to
Here
go
is your
to.
latest
Thank you.
Ilhan Omar report.
Yep. The scale and frequency of fraud in Minnesota is staggering, but I fear it's just the tip of the iceberg, Ernst told Fox News Digital, because, again, I don't see the Star Tribune rushing to quote Joni Ernst. Congress owes it to the American people to clean up the mess instead of letting the same politicians who created it keep pigging out at the trough. I am putting a stop to the madness. Capitol Hill lawmakers unveiled a new spending package Monday that totaled $174 billion and is slated to receive a vote from lawmakers later this week. Ernst's office found that Ilhan Omar had earmarked $1,031,000 through the Department of Justice for a group called Generation Hope in Minneapolis. The earmark is co-led by Democratic Senator Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. Generation Hope is a 501c3 that was established in 2019 to create a better, safer, and more connected community for individuals experiencing drug addiction and substance disorders in the greater East African community. And then if you need the help, I guess you go to the upstairs room at the safari, because that's where I'd go to get some help. I'd go to
think
the
you
bleeping
misspoke.
Safari restaurant.
You misspoke. You said $174 billion.
Yeah, no, $1 billion. That's just a new spending package going through Congress.
And that's all going to the East African?
No.
That's just their
It's
whole
a
package.
it's a generalized current spending package.
All right, and they'll tap into that.
For butterfly research in Arkansas and this and that and the other thing.
Right.
And Ilhan threw her hat into the ring and said, I need a mill for this addiction outfit
Generation
in
Hope,
in Minneapolis.
They come at night.
Now, do we have any evidence that it's a fraud? We don't know, but I don't like our chances with Ilhan and Safari involved.
Joe,
I just don't like our
Quit
chances.
being Islamophobic.
And I thought you said Amy was also involved.
Amy and
She authored
Tina,
the bill.
Yeah.
They approved the mill.
Sorry, approved.
Boy, they better be going through their history with a fine-tooth comb. I predict that Amy will not run for governor. We're going to find something.
I had a deep thought as I attempted to walk the service road of life yesterday. I've known Amy a long time.
As
Your
have I,
buddies.
since
Yeah.
she was a kid.
Yep, I've known Amy a long, long time. And as much as on the face of it, anything's an improvement over Walls, including Amy. I wouldn't run if I was Amy, and I'll tell you why.
On account of you want to know why?
Because on account of you want to know why? I think this state is in such foul, foul trouble that I think for Democrats to DFL to earn back the trust of Minnesotans is almost an impossible task right now. She would start the job behind the starting line. She would start the job in suspicion, in my estimation. I'm not suggesting she's stuffing her pockets. I'm saying she starts the job as merely the torch carrier for the guy who failed miserably and has really done nothing whatsoever to mitigate his failures. Nothing. So she starts in the hole.
Compare her to a Democratic complete unknown that has all the street cred to run.
The only one I got is Dean Phillips.
That's pretty good, Joe.
So you're saying it would almost be like Amy would be the new manager of the White Sox.
Exactly.
Your team
You're
is such a
inheriting
dysfunctional mess.
bad, dysfunctional team,
Yes.
and you, just by the nature of humanity, you will not be trusted. I wouldn't trust her.
No.
So I don't have anything personal against Dean Phillips, but I cannot figure out why he is not interested. Does he just not want to dirty his hands?
Don't throw me in the briar patch, maybe?
He doesn't want to get involved exactly, or is it something else, my conspiracy theory?
Kenny, you know what I think
brain?
it is? They turned on him when he called out Biden. And I think he raised up the double guns and said,
He
bleep ya.
disturbed the rail.
Yes,
he
he
disturbed
did.
the life quality of the third
He
rail.
went against the club.
And I'm being told by mansplainers that we misuse the term third rail. I know that, but that's what we're going to call it, okay?
What?
Well, it has something to do with electricity or something. I don't
Don't grab the third rail in the
GL'er's always there to tell us we're wrong.
subway. Third rail is live.
You know who you need to help explain?
I think you're on the right track.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the middle rail. Where the
But we just mean it as we live our lives and they're living on a different level.
It's funny.
Let's call it the third level.
I've known that all along, and I never bothered to,
It never bothers
to
me.
vocalize.
I wasn't
it.
paying
Well, we
attention.
need an
so-
electricity expert. Have your Gopher basketball guy on.
You want, yeah, Mark,
Holm? No.
who was it?
What are you studying, Mark? Electricity.
How's that garage door doing?
Mine's fine, but I worry about creakers. I got a kid with a creaker, and you can't trust a creaker. In this dead of winter, you don't want to go out there. You got to get a hold of Precision Door. Maybe you need a new door. Precision Door right now offers you GL'ers $500 off the purchase of a new door and the operator combination. But if in them models for every budget, the designer comes out, that's free. You shoot the breeze, bing, bang, boom. The next thing you know, you got a new door. If you like your current door, but she's creaking, you don't like it. She's sending signals. They got a 25-point safety inspection called the Noisy Door Tune-Up Special for $149. I would consider that. There's a lot of winter left, and we're having a real winter. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com. or call 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate or book a noisy door tune-up special from Precision Door.
Hand.
I didn't know.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
All that and more. I'm talking preventing common engine problems, making them run better, lasting longer. Seafoam treatment does that and so much more. It's safe, it's proven effective, and it's actually been helping us with our cylinders since 42. That's 1942 to you youngsters. Actually, it started in the late 30s when a fella just got sick of the hassle of dealing with his outboard and the cruddy gas they had at the time. It worked. His buddies found out. Then more buddies found out. Next thing you know, by 1942, business was hopping. Seafoam motor treatment, now one of the best-selling automotive additives in North Minneapolis.
There, too.
South Minneapolis, Minnetonka, Richfield, and all
Virginia.
of
You can buy it wherever the hell you want.
North America. It's obviously the proven choice of all of us mechanics and GL'ers and all sorts of people that just rely on their cylinders every single day. You add it to the gas, it solves upper engine problems, carburetor, intake problems. Put it in the crankcase, and it's going to clean out all the carbon and gunk that plugs up your oil filter. And the best part, Joe.
No,
what?
I'm sorry. I was looking.
The best part, you can find this stuff everywhere. Of course, in your local NAC hardware stores, big box stores, auto parts, C-stores, even grocery stores stock Seafoam. A wonderful product in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
We need to turn to John Haidt right now for developing news that will become certainly national news.
A woman was shot by an ICE agent this morning in Minneapolis, and that woman has now died, according to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. In a statement, Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin said that protesters blocked U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement with a car, allegedly tried to run them over, something she called an act of domestic terrorism. That's when an ICE officer opened fire and killed the woman. No ICE agents were hurt. As of right now, I was just looking at some live video. The shooting has drawn a large crowd of protesters and law enforcement to the area of Portland Avenue and 34th Street in the city's Powderhorn community. Reporters on the scene from 5 Eyewitness News saw an area blocked off with a large number of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents at the intersection. Chopper footage showed an SUV appearing to be carrying federal agents deploying chemical irritants as it tried to escape through an alley. Several city officials and MPD officers were at the scene. Apparently, there was supposed to be at 12:15, the city was going to hold a press conference with the mayor, Mayor Fry, and also with Chief O'Hara to give some more information about this. That has not started yet that I can find anywhere. Channel 5 Eyewitness News, does have a video shot from a window of a house where the shooting happened, and it's hard to discern, any great details from that. Looks like cars are trying to go by the ICE agents. And
Gabe just showed me an X video, by the way, of this encounter, and she did ram, or she blocked a couple of ICE vehicles, but then she also rammed another one as well.
Yeah, and there was a vehicle right in front of her that took off, and an ICE vehicle immediately took off after that vehicle, and then she tried to leave with an officer standing there.
Is she going to be turned into a martyr and a hero?
Yes.
I'm sure, yes.
So, John, the woman who was shot was behind the wheel of a car.
Correct. It was
a Honda
SUV.
Pilot. It was a Honda Pilot.
And she was in the act of ramming ICE vehicles?
No, she was going
blocking.
The streets in Minneapolis kind of narrow.
Yes.
Right? ICE had vehicles on both sides of the streets parked, and it looked like a line of cars was trying to go through. Like I said, one went through right before her, and an ICE vehicle chased it. Then she started going and wanted to go, but there was a ICE agent standing there who ended up,
do
getting
we
hit by
even
her
know,
vehicle.
was she someone ICE was interested in? Do we even know that?
No.
None of that. has been-
might have been Mrs. Kravitz trying to go to Target?
No.
She was
A Karen
deliberately
trying to-
She was deliberately trying to interfere with ICE.
She was a Karen.
She was a protester.
There's all kind, Joe. I have many friends on Facebook who have been in the last 2 days posting they're following ICE around and telling where ICE is at. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing she was that sort of. Well, I shouldn't guess.
Offering whistles and things
John,
like that.
that's a very, very educated guess.
That's a safe assumption,
Yes,
John.
yes.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that she was following ICE and trying to report where they were.
She
et
could have
cetera, et
been
cetera.
from Minnetonka. We don't know.
Right.
We don't know where she's
Not
from.
yet.
No, nothing. It looks like Christy Noam perhaps is holding a press conference right now, so perhaps
I will
there'll be
see
more
if I can find it.
info on that.
Do we know this woman's name or age?
Nope. In her 40s was what witnesses said,
what a
but
waste
but
lady.
that's very nebulous to say the least.
Do you think it was a situation where the ICE guys thought they were going to get mowed down?
Well, it looked like the ICE guy, he was on the one side of the car, and as she started going, he kind of got hit, and then he backed off. And I'm assuming, it looks like from the video, again, I'm assuming, and I don't know if this is correct, he looks like the one who may have fired the shots. So,
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be showing
Gabe is
to her
showing
right
the video
now,
to
but
Joe right
Gabe-
now, and I'm going to see if I can find the Christy Noam. You said, John, that Christy Noam is speaking currently as we.
yeah, Channel 5 had what looked like a press conference with her.
All right, I'll see if I can find it via the social medias, because usually they're the first ones that post it.
Well, you didn't hit this thing.
Oh, that's Brownsville, Texas. Okay, no one's talking right now.
It
We're
doesn't
on
really
the air.
help listeners for me to try to
The
see
reason
that.
I wasn't talking because I looked up is using a car as a weapon a felony, and it's considered assault with a deadly weapon or aggravated assault.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's not worth sacrificing your life, folks.
That's the thing I don't understand. Why again?
You're 40 years old.
But not even that. You can be against something. You can be against the tactical proceedings of something. I get that, and that's within your right. That's what makes this country great.
Don't put your life in
But
jeopardy.
don't put your
please.
life in jeopardy. What are you
Please,
doing?
Please.
I think, and Joe and I remember a couple of weeks ago we were talking about this. Something like this, didn't you think probably was inevitable?
Yeah,
It was going to happen.
Unfortunately, you're right, John.
All signs have been leading to this. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
What do you make of it, Joe?
I think that guy who shot her's in trouble.
You think it was the guy on the side, right? The guy.
Why?
Yeah, well,
What did you
she was
see?
driving away.
Was she?
Yeah. And admittedly, he got bumped, but she was driving away. I'm sure he was saying, stop, stop, stop. She didn't. She was trying to drive away.
At that point, shoot at the tires.
That's not a
Hey.
realistic.
Can I help you?
Yes.
48 hours.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
But I just saw it happen in real
I know.
time.
I'm trying to protect you. 48 hours.
But I saw George Floyd happen in real time, and that certainly changed over 42 to 72 hours.
well, the angle. You saw one angle. You
Yeah.
didn't see the other angle.
For something completely different, but not necessarily
Thank
so.
God.
You'll recall our friend Tom Cullen, who's a local businessman who last summer, a year ago almost, said that he was irritated because the DFL would refuse to seat themselves for the legislative session. And he said, I'm not getting my money's worth from my elected representative. And he intended to pursue that. And
Who
he
was
did.
Bianca
And
Vernig.
Vernig. And he had to file a suit. And he was told that, well, someday we might get around to that. And then I have his current update.
Okay.
I have his current update. I've written to you before about my frustration with Minnesota government, most notably when the DFL caucus refused to show up for work, and I took the unusual step of filing in small claims court to compel my so-called representative to do her job. That was Bianca Vernig, down Mendota way.
Yes.
My dissatisfaction with state leadership has been well documented on Garage Logic. As frustrated as I was then, nothing compares to the disbelief I feel today. What we are witnessing now, the unchecked spiral of fraud, waste, abuse, and outright theft of taxpayer dollars, combined with a complete lack of accountability at the state level, has crossed from incompetence into something far more destructive. The ripple effects of these decisions has now landed as a tsunami in my own life. I run a manufacturing business in St. Paul that builds electric-powered wheelbarrows. We are located on Dale Street near Como, not exactly the garden spot of the city. Yet we are staring down a 27% year-over-year property tax increase.
Holy sh!
At the same time, the state's new paid family leave program has significantly increased our cost of doing business and injected uncertainty into employee availability and productivity. The state solved a problem that did not exist, and small businesses like mine are paying the price. Our business is growing, but Minnesota, Ramsey County, and the city of St. Paul have done something I never thought possible. They've made Wisconsin look attractive. We are now actively looking at properties in Hudson and will relocate as soon as possible. That alone is troubling, especially given that our owner, Chip Michael, and his family have been manufacturing in St. Paul for over 130 years. Union Brass and Metal, where I worked.
Is that
Remember
where
Shorty,
faucets?
what I had the faucet, turned
Yes,
my hand
yes.
into a faucet?
Yes.
For over 130 years, Union Brass was forced out of St. Paul years ago. I worked there. Now we are being pushed across the river to Wisconsin. You might think that's the source of my deepest anger, but it isn't. The real breaking point is this. My wife and I raised 5 daughters in St. Paul. We could not risk their futures in an increasingly failing public school system, so we sacrificed to send them to Nativity and Cretin-Derham Hall. They thrived. They are productive, responsible adults. Today I have 4 grandsons, my posse. And over Christmas, we learned another grandchild is on the way. Woo! Wonderful news. But that joy was immediately tempered when my daughter and her husband told us they are being forced to leave Minnesota. This is a young family with 2, soon-to-be 3 children, 2 working professionals, homeowners, taxpayers, law-abiding, engaged, doing everything right. They are being choked by daycare costs and property taxes, while at the very same time, Minnesota has allowed hundreds of millions of dollars to be stolen through organized daycare fraud schemes with little urgency, accountability, or consequences. The contrast is enraging. Instead of protecting families like my daughters, the people who are raising children, working hard, and building the future of this state, Minnesota has tolerated fraud on a massive scale and then turned around and told honest families and small businesses, you must pay more. If even a fraction of that stolen money had been protected and properly used, it could have helped stabilize child care costs, supported working parents, and kept families like mine from being forced out. That is the marrow of Minnesota's backbone walking out the door. You can survive losing my wheelbarrow business to Wisconsin. What you cannot survive is losing families like my daughters, the future workforce, taxpayers, volunteers, and community builders who simply want to give their children the same opportunities they were given. This is the real cost of the daily failures we see at the state, county, and city level, and it is a crisis that demands immediate, serious attention. I am finished funding a system that shows no restraint, no accountability, and no respect for the people who make this state work. To which I might add, we said earlier, I cannot understand how anyone right now could trust this government. Anyone. My earlier legal actions were meant to draw attention. What is happening now is far more serious. If Minnesota continues down this path, the Minnesota we knew, the one worth fighting for, will simply cease to exist. This is a call to action. We need to recruit one of our Garage Logic barristers to initiate and file a class action lawsuit for the return of our paid taxes and suspension of collecting any more taxes, the basis of which is taxation without representation, as well as willful and intentional fiduciary malfeasance. I will contribute to the legal fees for the litigation that needs to happen and might be our only hope. This is something we can do, and it is our right and our duty to step forward. Best regards, Tom Cullen. I, too, will contribute. If it should come to that, I will contribut that.
He's right. We need a lawyer. We need somebody to bring a suit.
I have given the same speech to my kids, and they're not buying my speech. It sounds like he gave the speech to his kids, and at least one daughter and her husband have come to realize we can't make it here.
Yeah. Well, your kids will probably find out too late, and
yes, you in the back.
I think we should go back to this hearing on Minnesota state fraud. Rashida Tlaib is now talking to Walter Hudson, Marion Rarick, and Kristen
Is that
Robinson.
going to prevent fraud? Do you believe cutting 23,000 kids from child care, do you think that's going to prevent fraud?
So my understanding, it's not being cut. If they can document that the actual children are there and that they have attendance records, they will get the funding. So this is a misnomer saying it's all going to be cut. It's not true.
We'll see. Representative Hudson?
I tend not to blame firemen for water damage when they put out a fire.
Okay.
And that's what's going on.
So you're good with them cutting. Okay. How about you?
I believe in the due process of law. And so back to your comment about your dear mother, because she wears a hijab and she has to carry her passport. So I think that every person has value. Everyone is a child of God, right? And we may have a different name, but here's the thing, is that they all deserve respect.
Absolutely.
They all deserve kindness. They all deserve the process of law and due process.
And I'll tell you,
that is what we believe in.
And I see it among my community. It's a very diverse community. We're calling people on other, folks that are, no matter what their background is, because we don't want any criminal activity or fraud, because we know it hurts everybody. But I'm asking all of you, as you do this, your job, call out against the racist comments. Protect everyone in Minnesota, no matter their faith or ethnicity. So be careful in sharing these videos. I'm sorry, Chairman, this is important. Be careful as you do your job not to allow people that you all are trying to root out fraud to be used as a ploy to go after Muslims and Somali Americans.
Time's expired. Thank you,
say right
Chair.
back at
Before
you.
I recognize Mr. Cloud, Mr. Gill has a unanimous consent request.
Sure. Yep. This is from the Minnesota Reformer.
Again, nothing about frauds or billions.
Well,
or
I didn't want to interrupt Joe, but when she was earlier talking about this, that's kind of the road she was going down. What she said, are you in favor of the militarization of ICE agents in the state? And basically their comeback was, well, we're not getting help on the state level. So we need help on the federal level was kind of the comeback.
I don't like that we've shoved aside this very, very important email. I think that might be one of the most important topics we could talk about, Joe. And it's not just here in the Twin Cities. You'll recall a couple of weeks ago I sent you information about a gal that owns a business in Sebeka, less than 1,000 people. Yeah. Her property taxes on that business went up 62%.
Holy crap.
She owes $46,000 in taxes for the last year in Little Sebeka, Minnesota. It's all over the state.
The difference between the author of this email, Tom Cullen, and a lot of people is that he's doing his due diligence to pay attention to what's happening in this state. Too many citizens of St. Paul continue to skate. They're not paying attention. Their lives are okay for the moment. They haven't been hit between the eyes yet, but they will be.
And will it be too late by then?
To condense the problem, and we've discussed this ad nauseum, we haven't been paying attention. We let this happen. We settled for voting into place in the absence of anybody better running. We have voted into city council positions, legislative positions, what have you. We have voted into those positions inexperienced, untrained, professional activists. They have no ability to identify with Tom Cullen.
Right there.
They have no ability to, they haven't owned a home, they haven't raised children, they haven't run a business, they haven't met a payroll, they haven't paid taxes, they haven't faced the beauty of America. All they have seen is what they're calling the ugly of America, and they think they're out to fix it. And in fixing it, they're ruining the state of Minnesota. And he sees it. His children are seeing it.
Look what he said in there. He said, I sent them to, his choice, he sent them to private school, but that means he paid twice.
That just means, exactly, he did what a lot of us have done. He just paid twice. But that's the price you pay.
But then you're going to lose, again, the St. Paul, they're going to move out. They're going to move out of St. Paul. And
how come public schools can't ever budget correctly, but private schools can?
That's great. There's another investigative fraud.
Yeah, but then you're just raising a bunch of cake eaters going to private school.
Yeah, right.
No,
it's all right. It's okay. You will work for us someday.
People have not awakened. It's that simple. It's our fault. I don't include myself because I've always been careful of who I voted for, and I've usually lost.
Well, you're outnumbered.
Plus, I'm canceled the minute the damn vote gets turned in.
Who would you say is the last in St. Paul? Would you go as far as Kelly or Norm Coleman with a good city council that was?
Coleman at least wanted a city that prospered.
Was that when he was a Democrat or a Republican?
Republican.
Got it.
He wanted to. He was instrumental in realizing the importance of bringing a hockey team here, for example.
Sure.
He realized the city must prosper. There is nothing prospering right now.
But he realized that on all levels, Joe, from tiny little one-man shops all the way up to the Minnesota Wild.
And he lived in a neighborhood. He owned a home. He paid taxes. He had children, and he owned a car. He was not a professional activist.
He had to cut his own grass.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he has.
And he was right. Imagine St. Paul without the X or Grand Casino or whatever.
I have great hopes for. How are we going to say her name?
Kali.
I have great hopes for Kali Her.
I do
but
too.
So far, I'm disappointed.
What do you mean?
And I'll tell you why. The mayors of St. Paul are trusted for one thing only in this state.
I know you.
Plowing. And let me tell you something.
You didn't get on it.
You had a chance for this is day 3. You've had a chance to send the fellas out and plow up the slush. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is
gonna freeze.
It'll become a moonscape like it was about 8 years ago.
Wait a minute.
You could not even drive on a side street.
Didn't she just take office Monday?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm holding her accountable.
Day 3.
Gas him up, Her.
Coley.
Come on, Mayor Her.
Kali.
Come on. Let's go here.
Especially in front of my house.
Right. Start with Main Street. 1, 2, 3, Main.
No, any side street in St. Paul runs the danger now of becoming impassable the minute the temperature drops down to about 15 degrees.
I had to put my truck in 4-wheel drive when I turned
Which
on
truck?
the
You
Barry.
own 3.
Yeah, why?
How many? Are
the
they
big
color?
one. The big one.
It's accident time driving in this stuff.
What happens if you get in an
You know
accident?
who isn't a fan of getting those streets plowed?
Yeah.
Bradshaw and Bryant.
No, they are a fan. They don't want you getting in an accident.
That's true.
But if they are, they're going to help you. Mike Bryan puts together a team of Bradshaw and Bryan experts. They'll explain your rights, represent you, get you through a tough time because insurance companies can be difficult to deal with, and Mike is one of the best in the business. Bradshaw and Bryant hopes you're never in an accident, but if you are, call Bradshaw and Bryant at 800-770-7008 or go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. You'll get a free case evaluation. Get this solved with the right people on your side. And don't be a part of the problem, especially trying to navigate these streets. Don't text and drive or drive distracted. That's just common sense from Bradshaw and Bryant. And now I want to tell you, we better go back to John Haidt, who has been following this ICE shooting incident in the Powderhorn Park area of Minneapolis. John Haidt in his newsroom.
Hi, Joe. I've been following for the last 10 minutes or so the press conference with Mayor Fry and Chief.
I know, because you've had your microphone on.
Brian O'Hara. Oh, no, I had my mic muted.
No, you did. It doesn't matter.
My mute must not work.
Right.
That's weird. I had it muted, but anyway. Basically, the mayor said ICE is causing chaos and should get out of the city. He called the narrative that they've already released, the Department of Homeland Security, and I'll use his word. This is his word, not mine. He called it bullshit. And he said that I should get the, and I won't use this word, but the F out of Minneapolis.
The mayor said that?
The mayor said that, yes.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. He's and apparently from what I've gathered here from between his talk and O'Hara's talk, they said the woman was parked perpendicular, trying to stop ICE from moving down the street, basically. Her and another car, the car that pulled out in front of that, the white, I think it was a white Suburban or something, that was then chased. Then the ICE agents, there was one on each side of her car, told her to move on. She didn't move. She just stayed there. One of the ICE agents approached, tried to open her door, and that's when she started driving away, and that's when the shots were fired. So,
I'm asking for your permission to play the mayor.
Go ahead.
Better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave.
Back to John Haidt.
Both the mayor and the chief called on the population to be calm, obviously, saying, Fry in particular, saying exactly what the administration would like is for things to get out of hand and for there to be rioting and reasons to call in more federal officials. So that's where it stood.
But what's the line that we're supposed to walk? Absolutely nobody should have lost their life. But is it the comply line that we always walk on this show?
What do you mean?
Well, you can't aim your vehicle at a federal agent.
I don't think in this case
I didn't see that.
aimed.
Well, yeah. But
48 hours.
You're right. But interfering with a federal agent, you shouldn't be in that spot.
I didn't
As a
see
normal
it.
citizen.
48 hours,
See,
but I didn't see that.
We're the kind, during the protests and the riots, I could hear it from my backyard. I had no inclination to go down to Lake in Hiawatha.
Yeah.
None whatsoever.
None.
And that's what we're all like. We're the kind of people that don't go down there and get involved. These are those kind of people.
That's a good point.
There's one minor thing I wanted to bring up, Such. We've noticed in the studio, and I received a couple of text messages noticing that the license plate on the vehicle didn't look like a Minnesota plate. John, have you heard anything?
I have not heard anything.
Gabe, have you?
It looked white to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I talked to some people when I was at sea about this.
Oh, Lord.
Christ.
Well, no, I mean, that's where I happen to be.
Very ponderous.
And one of
Your
the
fellow
people
pirates.
told me, one of the people had some very unkind words about ICE and said they're in Winnetka arresting housekeepers and people shoveling a sidewalk.
Right.
Why don't those words I can't say, why aren't they on the south side arresting really tough, bad gang members who are here illegally? Here's what I would do, because the show is often criticized when we don't have answers. I would withdraw all ICE people from all American cities right now. I would put them somewhere at a central headquarters. And city by city, I would only return to those cities if criminals, rapists, murderers, thieves are identified. A plan of action is instituted for how to go into that town, get them, withdraw them, no announcements, no news, no nothing. You should be in charge of getting only the worst of the worst. And don't I've seen videos of well-tended mothers in their yoga pants, and that's quite a good sight in Winnetka, Illinois, going outside and confronting these people who are hassling a delivery truck driver only to discover he was delivering a package from Target. He was a Target delivery driver, and fortunately the guy had every bit of paper on him that he needed. Why aren't you only focused on crime?
Top of the pyramid.
I keep saying serious crime. I'll make it different. Only related on crime. Come back to town when you have 4 arrests that need to be made in this town, and you have a force that brings that about. You leave. We don't even know it. End of story. Back to John Hyde.
If they can get Maduro, they can get the top 4 guys in the city.
I'm not going to sit here and fight with you, but I'm sitting on a story here about Mary Moriarty.
Thank you.
And how it was recently revealed that a Somali national who pled guilty in 2 separate sexual assault cases avoided prison under a plea deal negotiated by Moriarty's office.
He would be among those taken by my strike force.
Even though Mary isn't going to prosecute
Well, the hell
him.
with Mary.
Yeah,
the feds would trump her at that point.
I don't even know if this is apropos to even bring it up or if it's comparable, but it's been on my mind for 2 days.
John?
Still thinking, sorry.
Yeah.
Still thinking.
It's a poser, isn't it, John?
And at this point, the situation's not going to change. And in fact, given stuff like this happening, it's only going to get worse.
The temper of the country is not suitable to accommodating 2,000 ICE people going through neighborhoods and grabbing people. It's not going to work.
I like the idea of removing these people, but it's really unnerving to witness it.
Do we know what the process is if they're going to Snelling Avenue and to the Asian restaurant there, the Mexican restaurant? Do they know they're looking for Pedro or Jacques or Saeed?
Yes, they do.
So they know specifically who they're looking for.
Well, in theory, yes.
They got a photo.
In a fishing analogy, are they throwing out a net or are they fishing line by line?
Well, I want them to fish line by line.
Yeah.
Well, then why wouldn't it be the most hardened criminals and the biggest lawbreakers?
I think that's what Joe would like to
That's
have
what
happen.
I'm saying.
Right. Why?
Start over. Don't come back to town until you got 6 names that absolutely must be taken out of circulation.
And to answer your earlier question, Rook, I don't think we'll ever learn what the process is because that would be like, why would the federal agents give us that info, right? I mean, I don't.
Let me present perhaps an argument of why it's not like that.
Oh,
perhaps this was just started to create an optic that a segment of the society would like. And that's what it's doing.
Are these all
and so there was no
Somalis
preparation. It just kind
You mean just for show?
Yeah. And here we go. Look what we're doing.
No, they're
but
not
there
all
was no
Somalis.
preparation.
No, they're
Salvadorans, Ecuadorians,
South Mexico. Yeah.
Leave my
Venezuelans.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Walter and Marion. Like, are they going to get lunch? They've been sitting there a long time. I've been watching this thing the whole time.
Under the lights.
In other news, let's move along for a moment, shall we? Anoka-Hennepin School District and education leaders reached a tentative contract agreement, and that averts a possible strike. The agreement with Anoka-Hennepin Education Minnesota covers the 2025-26 and 2026-27 school years. The school will proceed as planned this week, with activities continuing as scheduled. The proposal, reached after a 20-hour mediation session, still needs union membership approval before the school board's final decision.
Do we know what they're going to get?
No, there's no totals yet, or no figures have been released.
It'd be nice to get a raise, wouldn't it?
I'll just be quiet, Rook.
Okay.
You pass that one along for me, will you?
Yep.
I'm not anticipating one. How's that?
But why some feel entitled to have one in this economy is funny. That's what
I have a meeting with the boss here in about 30 minutes.
we should play more about ads. Is what we should do.
I'll storm in. And,
don't tell him what I said, then, okay?
Could you put in a good word for me?
No, John, I'm not putting a word in for anyone.
Just
what
yourself.
We mad at?
I understand. Should we do some national news while we're at it?
I would let Reavers call the show.
I think we should talk about North American Banking Company, since John failed to mention this as his news sponsor. Banking done differently since 1998. That's okay, Johnny. I still love you. And you know what? Back then, they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for their customers, where you know your banker, and they also know you. And you know what? While a lot has changed since then, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, that has not. And you know what? You might think that a community bank has mobile banking tools that were last updated back in 2010. But boy, oh boy, would you be wrong. No, they have the same updated online and mobile banking options as all of those other big national banks. I use mine every single day, and you should too. Check them out online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Get that out.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Order for Ray. Order for Mark. I got some bad news. Some really bad news for your doomsday preppers. Welter Heating online at welterheating.com probably is not going to go out to Montana to help check out your heating or air conditioning unit if you're in that bunker. However, for you Cityots, if you're in the metro area and you're holding out.
Wait a minute. You can't call their customers Cityots.
I can't?
I don't know a lot.
Rick, are you sure? Rick is going to cancel on me right now.
But I do know you can't call them Cityots.
So Welter, Rick would say, for you wonderful people that are habitating in the Twin Cities metro area, Welter will serve all of your doomsday prep needs. Heating, air conditioning. You're going to need indoor air quality when the people come over the hill and are trying to take over the world. And if you're in the metro area and Welter Heating is one of the people that work on your heating units, air conditioning units, you got nothing to worry. Twin Cities' most trusted HVAC services, 24/7 service. You can give them a call at 612-825-6867. Online, it's info at welterheating.com. Their website is very, very easy to navigate through. And they have been serving the metro area for over 120 years, 4 generations. They've seen everything, and they will be ready. So, Welter Heating, so you wonderful people in the metro area, call them, 612-825-6867. Those of you outstate, you're pretty much screwed, so don't worry about it. Those of you, the rest of you, go to welterheating.com for all of your heating and cooling services. Check out the fine folks at Welter.
That's quite the ad there, Rick.
Rick is such a big fan of He just says get the phone number right and make sure they remember Welter.
There you go.
Here's a little something for you. Stu says, Mamdani says, I know we're going back to John. Yeah. Are we going back to John?
Yes, we are.
Mamdani says, replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. Walls. One person's socialism is another person's neighborliness. Same BS, different shovel.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Money Talk starts his news report today with the warm collectivism tirade. It's pretty good.
Okay, you got something to say.
Yes, every day he listens.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh.
In national, international news, and please let me remind you, as it is every day, this news is brought to you by North American Banking Company.
That doesn't cover you for every shift, John, okay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. United States has seized 2 sanctioned oil tankers linked to Venezuela in back-to-back actions in the North Atlantic and the Caribbean, according to officials. U.S. European Command announced the seizure of the merchant vessel Bella 1 for violation of U.S. sanctions in a social media post. You may have read about this. The U.S. had been pursuing the tanker since last month after it tried to evade a U.S. blockade on sanctioned oil vessels around Venezuela. Meanwhile, at least 24 Venezuelan security officers were killed in that U.S. military operation to capture Nicolas Maduro, according to officials. Venezuela's Attorney General Tariq Saib said overall dozens of officials and civilians were killed in the strike and that prosecutors would investigate the deaths in what he described as war crimes. In addition to the Venezuelan security officials, Cuba's government on Sunday announced 32 Cuban military and police officers working in Venezuela had been killed in that raid.
May I say something on behalf of the staff of this show? If you disagree with me, now is your chance to weigh in. It is the policy of Garage Logic that we leave Greenland alone. That's the GL. That's my GL position.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mind that. Should we tell the GL'ers my brilliant idea that I came up with before the show?
Just tow it over to
the new 51st state.
Yeah,
that's right.
Mexico.
Yes.
He'd call it what?
So we have New Mexico and we have Old Mexico.
I like it.
Yeah.
There's an account that I follow that had said that breaking, Donald Trump and the NFL have now announced the new international games featuring games in Venezuela, Greenland, and they just basically went all over the entire globe.
I feel bad as a citizen of the United States if we disrupt the lives of the 56,000 people who live in Greenland. I just don't want to.
I'm a leave him alone guy too.
I want to be more benevolent than that.
To me, this seems.
Is he trolling?
It seems like high level trolling to me.
But isn't this all about NATO?
Yeah, I mean we could just as well go invade.
They're in NATO.
France or Germany.
I know, but us claiming that, doesn't that then disrupt?
Well, then in theory, we should be attacked.
ABC News this morning did 8 minutes on how Trump wants to take over Greenland, and it's speculation.
I think it's a fun distraction. I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Well, I hope not.
What would he be trying to distracting us from, Kenny? I don't understand.
Well, there's, John, a very interesting editorial in today's Star Tribune, and normally the editorials, Joe and I think, agree on this, they really boil the blood. But this one is regarding, the headline just says, opinion,
Who wrote it?
Trump was right to oust Maduro, by Matthew Kroenig.
Does it say at the bottom who he is?
Yeah, I read that.
He is Vice President and Senior Director of the Atlantic Council Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security and a Professor of Government at Georgetown University. Previously was a Senior Policy Advisor in the Defense Department and a Commissioner on the Congressional Commission on the Strategic Posture of the United States. The article was first posted in the Times, New York Times.
Better than a podcaster, isn't he?
It's an interesting piece. I'm really surprised the Star Tribune published it, to be honest.
It is written in stone that Maduro is a bad human being.
The celebrations in the country, that says it all.
I don't want to bore you with the audio, but just to give you a quick update on the Minnesota
They're
hearing.
still talking?
Oh, yeah, they're still going. Maxwell Frost, a congressman from Florida, is grilling the delegation, Walter Hudson, Kristen Robbins, and Marion Rarick, about Ron DeSantis' campaign contributions.
Jesus. Let's have Marion on tomorrow, Joe.
She might still be there, though. That's the problem.
Still under the Klieg lights?
Right.
Republican Doug LaMelfa, a California rice farmer who served 7 terms in the U.S. House, was a vote for President Donald Trump's agenda, has died at the age of 65. His death trims the Republicans' narrow margin of control of the House to 218 seats to the Democrats' 213. The congressman experienced a medical emergency Monday night, was taken to a local hospital where he died during a surgical procedure, according to the Butte County Sheriff's Office. Officials have not disclosed yet his official cause of death. I find this story quite interesting. The term gaslighting gets thrown around a lot these days. And, well, let's go into a story from today's Wall Street Journal. A webpage rolled out yesterday by the White House, 5th anniversary of January 6th, shared its version of the attack and the events surrounding it. It cast President Trump as a hero for issuing blanket pardons to people convicted of crimes. It's described as a peaceful protest that was deliberately mischaracterized as a violent insurrection by Democrats to score political points. Democrats were the real insurrectionists, the page says, for certifying Trump's 2020 election loss, according to the White House site. It also accuses former Vice President Mike Pence of betraying Trump for refusing to go along with his plan to overturn the election results. The president has claimed for years, with no evidence, that the 2020 election was stolen from him. Senator Tom Tillis, a Republican senator frequently at odds with President Trump, said he thought federal prosecutors did charge too many people, but that the president should have denied pardons to violent offenders, saying we let a lot of bad people go. Democratic resolution marking the 5th anniversary of the attack was blocked on the Senate floor after objections from Senators Tommy Tuberville and Jim Justice. The resolution offered by Senator Alex Padilla described the attack as an assault on our democracy. It praised the Capitol Police and other law enforcement officers who defended the building and expressed the Senate's gratitude for their service. Padilla sought to pass the measure by unanimous consent, but Tuberville objected, saying the resolution was part of a broader effort to vilify Republicans.
John, speaking of the Wall Street Journal, and you young GL'ers find this article, Ford Motor Company is short 5,000 mechanics. Wow. A Ford mechanic with his certificate of master is making $160,000 a year at a dealership.
Criminy!
$160,000 a year. To achieve your master certificate, those guys can take a transmission out of an F-250, disassemble it, fix it, put it back together, and reinstall it in 5 hours, where somebody who might not have achieved the master level of mechanical ability, that's 10 hours. So they're 5,000 short. This probably is true of all manufacturers. The kids are going to school and they're getting meaningless degrees in gender studies. The world is hungry for people who can fix things, for example. That's all I said. Find the story, young GL'ers. It's wonderful.
My twin nephews, now aged 19 or 20, are in auto mechanics school.
Well, they have a wonderful future.
And they both work for a dealership, and the dealership is paying for their future education.
Wonderful education. A wonderful
And not
experience.
only that, they absolutely love it.
Yep.
Along those same lines, look up and you guys know someone, look up what a diesel mechanic makes these days.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's all I had on that, but I want young GL'ers to seek that article out.
Ruck, we got a future. We're going to become Ford mechanics.
These guys that work for like a local John Deere dealership, and they drive a service truck and they go out to the field and repair the combine on the spot. Those guys might be all greasy, but they've got a very nice bank account.
Yes, they do.
They're doing very well.
Now, these mechanics, you have to buy your own tools.
Yep. My boys have done that.
It takes a long time to get to the $160,000 level. But
Here comes Professor Joe.
But the point is, it beats the hell out of a degree in German horror stories.
Even the starting wage is nice. It's not $30,000.
No,
it's not radio. You're not doing traffic reports.
Wait a minute, you were making $30,000 to start.
Hate to break it to you, John.
Boy, are we living it up.
Make sure you get your sponsor read in.
Yeah, exactly.
The man identified as the shooter who killed those two Brown University students and an MIT professor planned the attack for years and left behind videos in which he confessed to the murders but gave no motive. 48-year-old Claudio Neves Valente, a former Brown student and Portuguese national, found dead in a New Hampshire storage facility after he killed the students and wounded 9 others in the engineering building on December 13th. 2 days later, he shot and killed Nuno Loureiro, an MIT professor, in his home in the Boston suburb of Brookline. Justice Department officials said Tuesday that during the search of the storage facility, they recovered an electronic device containing a series of short videos that he made after the shootings. In the recordings, the shooter admitted he had been working out details for 6 semesters. He gave no motive for targeting Brown or the professor. Videos don't provide any motive, but they do address some misinformation. In an English-translated transcript provided by the Justice Department, Valente said he felt he had nothing to apologize for. He specifically addressed claims spread by conservative influencer Laura Loomer after the attack that the Brown shooter had spoken in Arabic, saying something like Allah Akbar. He said he did not speak a word of Arabic or intend to make any kind of statement.
Can we back up a second? I wanted to bring this up, but the conversation went a different way. After your story, John, about the January 5th attack, and I was thinking how the two sides are so far apart right now on what happened that day. Do you think this country will ever be united again?
No.
And what we talked about during the break, the council heard it. If China attacks, not with weapons, not with bombs, missiles, guns, but just cuts us off the electricity, the power grid, etc., will that bring the country back together?
You mean like a post 9/11?
Or like post 9/11, or will that make it worse?
It'll be finger pointing.
It'll be chaos.
Yep.
You won't.
You don't think we'll ever be united as a country
short
again?
term, I don't see unification.
Have we ever been this divided, other than the Civil War?
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Our last was 9/11.
I would agree. Civil War is probably the last the country was.
No, I would say 9/11 was pretty. We were pretty unified after
for about
9/11.
a day.
But separated, he's talking about.
No, Kenny asked the last time we were unified.
Yeah, no, I know, but when Rook said Civil War.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry.
And Joel will remember this. Maybe you guys aren't old enough. It was pretty divided in the 60s and early 70s, but I don't think it's anywhere like it is
Not
now.
like this, John.
No, I agree. Not even close.
Well, once we release those JFK files, that's when we'll unify.
Yeah, John. Yeah, John.
Gabe, good luck in the future, bud.
God, I hate
we'll
you
all
guys.
be dead.
John, thank you so much.
Hey, kids,
I don't hate you, Joe.
Nice to
It's
see
all
ya.
about JFK, John.
Nice to see you. I'm done with ads.
Thanks.
Do you mean you're resigning, or do you mean you're just done for the day?
No, I want
This is a perfect opportunity.
Okay, and I also have something I want to read to you.
Scott Johnson, he's a writer for not only Powerline blog, but I think the American Experiment. Is that true?
I believe so.
He has a piece that appeared this morning about Governor Walz, and I've told you guys that I had Walz derangement syndrome early on.
Had?
Yeah, and still do.
Okay.
But part of this first paragraph brought so much delight, and I read it at 5:45 this morning, and it just made me grin. Listen to this. In addition to the damage that he has done, Walz, to this state, he is dishonest, stupid, vain, petty, thin-skinned, and tyrannical. On the national stage in the 2024 presidential election, with his previously undisplayed effeminate theatrics, we also observe that he is a phony, all in all, a thoroughly repulsive character. Scott Johnson,
Thank you.
Powerline
Wow,
blog.
he didn't hold back.
That made me so
As
happy.
you were reading, I was counting them off on my fingers.
Yeah.
I think it's important to stay on top of the Mamdani situation. We all have our versions of it. The closer you get to the country's tallest buildings, but I feel it's crucial to realize that he's on the wrong track, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But he has as his tenant advisor office to protect tenants, because it is a Marxist belief that the renters are really getting the short end of the stick, and we should be doing something about that. He has installed in that position a woman named Cea Weaver, CEA. Her name was Celia. And she believes that white people should not own homes because that's racist. Well, I can tell you some of her comments. She's a graduate of Bryn Mawr, but it gets worse. So she's been failed by the best academy. They're at the tops of being a failed academy, as the likes of Bryn Mawr. Among her controversy, she's 37 years old. She would never endorse a white man for office. She is white, by the way. She wishes to impoverish the white middle class and labels home ownership racist. She argues that home ownership is a weapon of white supremacy masquerading as wealth building. She said Delta should kick all white people in Christmas outfits off airplanes.
Wow, that's out of left field.
That's very specific.
I tend to agree with
I
that.
might agree with you.
Yeah, that one I'm with her.
Having traveled over the
I
holidays.
just saw that. You're right on
After
that
you
one,
came back
Celia.
from sea.
She wishes that all white men would take credit for the work of women of color. She wishes that all white men who take credit for the work of women of color would one day burn to death. She has a video in which she discusses property as a collective good rather than individualized good. She remarked that such a shift will mean that families, especially white families, are going to have a different relationship to property than we currently have. She is thoroughly brainwashed. She is a very privileged white American. And it turns out now that she has burst into tears yesterday when the hypocrisy of her remarks have been pointed out, because her mother lives in a $1.4 million beautiful craftsman home in Brooklyn. No, I don't know where, in New York. And Cea was confronted about this outside her apartment. Of course, she wouldn't own a home. You have to own an apartment.
Crown Heights.
And she began running down the street after seeing reporters outside her home. And then she started crying when asked if she wanted to comment on her professor mother, Celia Appleton's ownership of the $1.4 million property in fast gentrifying Nashville.
What's her last name, Joe, please?
Weaver.
Thank you.
She appeared to be walking towards a nearby subway station, but then turned back and ran inside her home, which has a Free Palestine poster taped to one of the windows. Well, of course it does. She was subsequently seen peering out the same window. Weaver previously tweeted that home ownership is a weapon of white supremacy and that home ownership is racist. And here, well, what about your mom's house, Cea, where you grew up?
It's pretty obvious what her deal is. It's guilt.
Yeah.
And she's protesting against her parents.
But the only response this woman has, she cannot defend her ideas because they're indefensible. So her only response is to break down in tears like a 9-year-old, which is about where she's mentally limited.
One of the photos associated with this story in the New York Post, Ken,
Yeah.
has a guy sitting on top of the steps, and the sign says, "Cancel rent."
Yeah.
I'd like that. That'd be great.
Okay, you know what her father does? Her father manages
She's a property
rental.
manager.
Right.
Yeah. She even has called on the seizing of private property.
Oh,
and
boy.
has called for the election of only communist lawmakers.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
here's the deal.
Here we go.
As a product of the failed academy, she has been Bryn Mawr, which probably only cost her $100,000 a year, become failed. She has thoroughly found the United States to be held in contempt by her and her ilk. But she's also, what I don't think she realizes is she's also incapable of embracing collectivism because she can't sell it. Not only can she not sell it because she probably doesn't have the intellectual capability of argument, she can't sell it because of her undeniable and incredible hypocrisy. She grew up wealthy. She grew up not starving. She grew up with parents who worked. She grew up in a very nice house that her mother now owns, worth $1.4 million. And so she's useless to Mamdani, but Mamdani also has no experience and no background in anything. Also grew up in such a way that he was taken care of. And yet these are the people who, through the failed academy, have grown to hold the country in such contempt, especially for its white founding. I mean, by white founding, I mean the founding fathers were white, that they can't, and they've been thoroughly educated now to hate that and find it despicable that she's now Mamdani's chief agent in charge of selling collectivism in terms of rental equity. She can't do it because she's too hypocritical. She's not useful to anyone in the city of New York. Maybe a third assistant shift at Arby's. That's be about it.
What are we going to do with all the abandoned houses when people move into public housing?
That's a good question.
Do I have to move off my farm and into the Legion apartments?
If this kind of crackpot thinking is going to win out. Oh, the mom is in Tennessee. It isn't a New York town.
Nashville. Yeah.
It's Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
America's fastest gentrifying. She has refused to say whether she will ask her mother to give up her private property.
In 2018, she had a post calling to impoverish the white middle class.
Right.
And,
how does that help anybody?
Labeling home ownerships as racist.
She's a beauty. I'm looking at a picture of her mom's house. It's really cool. It's a craftsman home in Nashville, but that's racist for her mother to own that.
Well, good luck with that.
Well, there you are. And there's a picture of her here when she isn't crying. Do
you think her and the mayor will last the full term?
Probably.
Until he gets elected president.
She says there is no such thing as a good gentrifier, only people who are actively working on projects to dismantle white supremacy and capitalism.
Why is she rebelling against her upbringing?
She probably learned
boredom.
Probably learned that at Bryn Mawr.
Does she know what it is to be poor or impoverished?
No. She does not.
It's not
She's
pleasant.
seen it. She's never experienced
Her
it.
mom's a professor of German studies at Vanderbilt.
9!
And her partner, meaning the mom's partner, David Blackburn, is a professor of history.
Oh.
They
one of those
purchased their
deals.
home in Music City, USA's Hillsborough West End neighborhood.
Oh. Wait, that's where our guy Dayton lives. Mm-hmm. Doesn't he live in that same
So
neighborhood?
far, they've increased $600,000 in their equity in that.
Ahoy, polloi.
That's tough
Where
when
did you just come from?
when baby girl comes home. There's no mention of the father. Maybe they're divorced. But I just wanted you to know, I think it's. I don't want to do it. I feel I owe it to myself to keep track of the preposterous, outrageous, obviously hypocritical failures of the Mamdani.
Look forward to working with you and any other whistleblowers who want to come forward to ask.
Are they
Mr.
still
Ellison
talking?
They're
specific
still
questions.
going.
Now, Chair recognizes Mr. Gill for unanimous
We should
consent.
start sending prank text messages to Marion right now. That vomit one.
You look. I'm going to send right now. Are you guys going to get lunch? I'm going to say that right now, Marion.
Only because they come to us all the way from Kaiwaka, New Zealand.
Do you guys get lunch?
The home of the traveling Lyman.
She's going to be so pissed.
Or a stipend.
I did. I said, you guys get lunch today?
She's getting a live text during testimony from Garage Logic Podcast.
Do you have it on the
that
TV?
You guys get lunch.
Can you watch it?
If she looks down at her phone, I'm claiming victory.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
It was on this day.
January 7th, the day. Yeah.
In 1816, Stephen Miller was born in Carroll, Pennsylvania. After moving to Minnesota at age 42, he was a general in the Civil War and served as the state's fourth governor. Only 1864 to 1865, he died in Worthington on August 18, 1881.
Turkey capital.
KWOA, the big chalk juggernaut.
Isn't that hated Worthington from Patrick?
No, he hated Slayton.
Slayton, you're right. I'm sorry.
On this day.
Joe, today is Jan 7.
And these people are still in town. On this day in 1850, John R. Irvin obtained a license to operate a ferry across the Mississippi at St. Paul's Upper Landing, formerly at the foot of Chestnut Street. The city's Irvin Park is named for him. On this day...
Where's everybody going?
Everybody's leaving.
On this day...
Jan 7.
In 1857... the Congregational Church in Faribault was dedicated.
All right, I'll come back.
With the Reverend Lauren Armsby serving as its first pastor.
You ever been?
No.
Okay.
On this day,
Jan 7.
In 1873, the blizzard of 1873 struck with temperatures of 49 below and winds of 75 miles an hour.
You gotta be kidding.
Over the next 2 days, at least 70 people died in the western and southern parts of the state.
70?
Yes. Conditions were, I think that was one of those storms where if you left the back door, you didn't make it to the barn.
Oof, duh.
Conditions were so blinding that in New Ulm, a boy who has to cross the street from a barn to his home was found frozen 8 miles away.
Oh,
and
that's
a
sad.
rural man and his ox team froze to death just 10 feet from his house.
Oh.
On this day.
That's an uplifting note.
On this day.
Jan 7.
In 1917. On this day, all Catholic priests in the St. Cloud Diocese were required to give at least one sermon in English. They probably have been giving it in what, German?
German, yeah, World War I.
Yeah. On this day,
Jan 7.
In 1972, after a lengthy battle with alcoholism, Pulitzer Prize-winning poet John Berryman jumped to his death from the Washington Avenue Bridge in Minneapolis. Wow. Boy, if only he'd known about that help he could get at the top floor of the Safari restaurant. That's not very kind, is it?
No, it's not.
No.
By the way, she did look down at her phone.
Did she
Gabe
really?
and I were just watching this.
We have nothing today.
Before she probably blocked me.
We have nothing today.
No sports?
In the realm of sports disappointment history.
Before we go, Gabe and I did notice this as well. KSTP has a different angle of the ICE-involved shooting. Again, 48 hours. John, it's on social. It's not on their website.
Oh, okay.
Because I could see you were typing to look it up. This woman clearly aimed. Well, I should probably not say that, huh?
This woman potentially.
It does appear from this angle of the video, she clearly aimed it at this ICE agent.
From the video I saw, it does not. That's
Right.
why we require 48 hours.
But this is a new video that just surfaced about a half an hour
I don't know what
ago.
more I could see than the one he showed me, but I'll wait 48
48
hours.
hours. That's
I'll
what it
wait.
takes, 48 hours.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, GL'er? Question mark?
Thank you, Gio.
Okay, thank you. Do us a favor if you haven't done so already and hit that subscribe button on the Garage Logic YouTube channel where you can watch the show each and every single day starting right around noon. There's also full segments, video shorts, and behind-the-scenes footage. And sign up to become a town council member. An annual town council membership gives you the opportunity to become the GL'er of the week, sponsored by our friends at Masters Maples and mastersmaples.com. And yeah, it's a good deal. So sign up now at garagelogic.com, where you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. It's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.
Just getting ready for Gabe's birthday tomorrow.
Happy birthday, Gabe.
Not yet.
Don't come to the exchange.
Ooh.
That guy's out of business.
We get bottle service at the
Not
exchange
a chance.
tomorrow.
McLaren's tab is still due